theory of the Monroe case. Interrupt me one more time, sir. We're going to have a long day today. Interrupt me again, and I'm going to hold you in contempt. You understand that? If you want to have a jury trial by yourself, you were in over your head. We're not talking about 2.105 today. Not in front of the jury. Mr. Blade, let me stop you. That court rule is about civil cases, like if you're not paying your credit card bill. That's for civil cases, not for drove while license suspended charges. You don't have to jump up. They train them in law school to jump up. All right, so before we get to all the jurors here, and I guess they're coming in, I don't know how many we've got, but I wanted to take care of some pre-trial stuff. So you brought a bunch of paperwork in 2 weeks ago or so? Okay. Most of that I couldn't figure out if you were asking for something, if you just submitted that for the court to have it. The one thing that looked like an ask was you filed a motion basically attacking the Monroe County conviction again. Would you agree?
Yes, I mean, I put that in there.
Okay. Well, we argued that out once, and I told you that whether or not Monroe messed up, I could not overturn what happened at the Monroe District Court. You'd either have to go back to the District Court or the Circuit Court in Monroe County. Remember that? We argued that motion once? All right. Is there anything else that you want to deal with out of those filings or anything else prior to getting the jury in? I can't hear you. Yeah, pull it in. Okay. So you filed a stack of documents a couple weeks ago. Okay. I want to know if there's any of that you want to deal with now, because we're not going to argue motions in front of the jury.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So none of that filing is something you wanted to deal with before the trial. Okay. So you're planning on submitting 240 some pages worth of evidence today? Okay. Understand that all of that's subject to an objection from her if it's not relevant. Okay. All right. And I'm going to tell you right now, all of that stuff from Monroe is not relevant.
Talking about the record.
I'm sorry? The record. The driver. Well, the driving, I'm assuming the people will plan on introducing your driving record. Okay. All right. Okay. So do you have any other pre-trial questions?
Yes. Just want to be able to submit the evidence to the jury.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you will or not, because as you submit something for evidence, we'll have a discussion about whether or not it's relevant, whether or not it's probative versus prejudicial, all those things through the court rules. Understood?
You know, one of these very, excuse me.
That's all right. Take your time.
It's all rest on the validity of the instruction. Validity of the judgment.
But it doesn't, and I explained that to you when you filed that motion. The Secretary of State, hold on, let me talk. The date of this arrest, if she can prove, she being the prosecutor, if she can prove that on the day of this stop, your license was suspended from the Secretary of State, the fact that it was improperly suspended by Monroe County doesn't change the fact that the officer had paperwork that said you were suspended from Secretary of State. That's why I told you months ago, you have to attack that judgment in Monroe if you think it's inappropriate. But, and I told you, I can't,
to overturn, just to recognize the jurisdictional defense. We are
but hold on, it doesn't matter if I recognize something. Sir, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. It doesn't matter even if I agree with you that Monroe did something wrong, there's still a valid suspension from the Secretary of State. But you have to deal, but you can't deal with that here. Well, whether or not you can make that argument to them is based on the discussion we have. You want to have that discussion now, we can have it. Well, no. You're not going to present anything to the jury until I tell you you can. That's the way it works. So let's argue that right now. You want to present your theory of the Monroe case. Interrupt me one more time, sir. We're gonna have a long day today. Interrupt me again, and I'm gonna hold you in contempt. Do you understand that? If you want to present to the jury what you claim was wrong in Monroe that led to an improper judgment that went to a Secretary of State suspension, if you want to argue that to the jury, we'll discuss whether or not that should be in front of the jury today, right now. Is that your argument? Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to, I tried to put in my words what you're trying to do. Do you want to put it in your own words so I can give Madam Prosecutor a chance to respond? Okay. Madam Pros? Okay, well, that's too vague. That's too vague. That's too vague. Once again, yes or no? You want to talk about what you think was wrong in Monroe to this jury today?
No, I want to talk about the record and how it got there to the jury today.
And how are you, and what is that going to be?
That's going to be the laws of the court rules. The court rules, that's all I plan to present, court rules and the judgments that are based upon the court rules.
Doesn't that get you to a discussion about Monroe County?
It all starts with the record. It all depends on how the record got there. What was that because prosecutor and according to your statement you just made is the record. What he saw when he pulled me over is what he went by when he arrested. Okay.
Well, I can guarantee that's going to be part of the case because this is a drove while license suspended charge. My
Has to be authenticated as to why it is there. How
I disagree with you, sir. I disagree with you, sir. What the prosecutor's going to have to present today is a certified record from Secretary of State that shows you were suspended. There's nothing that says we have to get into why you were suspended or how you were suspended.
rules that
What court rule are you referring to?
2-2.105.
What's that say?
Cool. Individual. Process may be served on a resident or non-resident individual by delivering a summons and a copy of the complaint to the defendant.
All right, Mr. Blade, let me stop you. That court rule is about civil cases, like if you're not paying your credit card bill. That's for civil cases, not for drove while license suspended charges, not for criminal cases. It most certainly is. It's a 93-day misdemeanor. Drove while license suspended, revoked, or denied. That's the top charge on your file. It's a criminal case.
It can be a criminal charge, but
Sir, trust me when I tell you, I can put you in jail on this charge. By definition, that means it's a criminal charge. So we're not talking about civil court rules. It's irrelevant
who's getting rid of this the court.
because that court rule 2.105 is regarding civil process, not criminal. I told you when you said you wanted to have a jury trial by yourself, you were in over your head. We're not talking about 2.105 today. Not in front of the jury.
I would like to move forward.
I'm sorry, a what? I don't understand what a containment is. Continuance? Absolutely denied. The jury's coming in today for a jury trial. We gave you a scheduling order that gave you plenty of time to file any pretrial motions. I gave you grace today when I talked about what you've brought in 2 weeks ago because that was a day late. So absolutely no.
Your Honor, we need to go to resolution for your trial.
Okay, what is it?
Drove license suspended, you will be dispensing the operating infraction vehicle as well as the unlawful use of license plate.
Okay. Mr. Blades, correct? You understand your rights and the options those rights present? You understand the possible penalty of the charge is up to 93 days in jail, up to $500 fines plus court costs. And that's the deal you want to make today? Did you drive a vehicle in Huron Township on November 29, 25? At the time, was your license showing as suspended, revoked, or denied from Secretary of State's records? Are you satisfied with the plea? I'll accept the plea to count 1, dismiss counts 2 and 3. Mr. Blades, let's talk about your financial situation. Are you working? Yes? Where do you work? I'm sorry, say it again. Bomar? Comar. Where are they at and what do they do? Okay, how long you been with the company? Full-time job? Full-time job? And, all right, anything else you want me to consider before I sentence you? Yeah, lean up, yeah.
What do you find? Don't say no to my partner.
Tell me about it. In a word? Go ahead. Okay.
I'm scared. I have bills, I have friends, I have children, but I don't have a lot of playtime. I have to get back and forth to work. So that's really that's
Give me, all right, give me an idea, what kind of shift are you on? What kind of schedule? 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.? How many hours a week you're working? Okay, well, what's a minimum in a week? I mean, like 35, 40 every week, or it could be 0 to 40?
I get regular work daily, for how many hours I'm working.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Well, let me tell you this. We've got other files in this building. One of them goes back to 10 years old, 2016. Currently, you owe us over $3,000. I don't see any attempts to make any payments on these.
You did that.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, well, I'm not gonna pay a clerk to process a dollar payment. I mean, that's a net loss to the building. So I've got some options. Well, first of all, let's talk about the old money before we talk about today's file. On the $3,000, yeah, you guys don't have to stick around for this if you don't want to. For the $3,000, I can send you down and we can put you on the work program. Unfortunately, that means you got to be out here because we don't do the work program in Monroe. I can give you work days, which means you pick the days. The days you pick, you have to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning to go out with the crew. Or I can give you some community service hours, which means you work with a charity, nonprofit registered with the IRS. You can work off our list, or you can find someplace closer to Monroe County or, closer to home. But it's got to be an IRS registered nonprofit organization. You have to do X number of hours, document it on their official letterhead so we can confirm it with them and document that or present that to the court. So those are options how we can pay off that $3,000. All right. So I'm going to send you downstairs on the $3,000. I'm going to send you downstairs to talk options. All right. So on today's file, normally I sentence $500 on this. So I'll do, let's see, 4 days. What is today? Early. July 10th. All right. So on today's file, it's $500 or 4 days on the work program or 30 hours community service. One of those three has to be done between now and July 10th on today's file. You understand that? You want to do work program? Set that up downstairs. All right. And as far as the 3,000, they'll talk about your options down there, whether or not you want to do work days, charity hours, some combination, they'll work something out. Understand that work program days are assessed as an alternative to jail. That means if we give you a schedule, we expect you to be here, because if we give you that seat, we can't give it to somebody else. All right? So if we give you a schedule and you don't show up for one of those days, we'll give you, hold on, we'll give you a reschedule once. After that, you're probably doing the jail days. I can't hear you. The work program isn't, I just said that. Work program is done here. You have to, if you pick work program, you got to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning. I can't do it in Monroe County. My work program runs my 5 communities. I don't send a crew to Monroe County. The charity hours you can do in Monroe, but those aren't 4 days, those are hours. Charity is hours, work program is days, just like jail is days. So if you want to do the charity, go downstairs and talk about that.
The charity, that's what.
So on today's file, that means 30 hours between now and July 10th, documented by July 10th. Clear? Okay, go on downstairs.
Yeah.
Are you gonna address your?
Yeah, you can bring it. Yeah, please. So Lisa, it's so screwed up down there because the court users didn't have much input. So for example, they had electrical outlets in the jail cells. They had porcelain toilets in the jail cells. The jurors in the circuit court, they seat 14 because a felony jury is 12 plus they have 2 alternates. So they seat 14. When they put them in the jury deliberation room, there's 1 toilet available. So if they take a bathroom break, one of the judges told me, he said, it takes me half hour, 45 minutes because my staff literally has to spread out throughout the building to find the jurors. Just, it's ridiculous. Well, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Stay safe, Officer Hayden. Have a good day, Lisa. Okay, that's an absolute hoot. Is that the last one?
The last one.
I have been doing jury trials since 1999. I've never had everybody walk in and sit on one side of the room. Never. Not one time. You? Literally, it has never, that's why I was waiting for that last guy. It has never happened ever.
Well, Judge, as far away from the jury box, you know,
No, because I can guarantee there's at least one person in there that wanted to sit on the jury today. Who are you? There's always 1 or 2 that say, yeah, I want to sit. Sorry, buddy. All right, so you're not sitting today. So you're still under my court order going, this is kind of fun for me, so you're stuck. So how many of you served on the jury somehow? Okay. I guess you put your hand up again. Where did you serve?
courthouse.
No, for the criminal.
I believe it was a criminal.
3 days or more.
It's 1 day.
Oh, you're really lucky. Yeah. It's good experience?
Yeah.
Okay, probably the one thing. Who else? You had your hand up. Where at? Criminal case, how long was that? Yeah. Positive or negative? Okay. Who else? Where at? Both? Downtown, careful. How long? Okay. Positive or negative? Okay. And here was one big problem. Yeah, and I know that's possible. You didn't have to pay parking. I mean, right there, you're starting to go like that. Who else? Where else? Criminal case, how long? That's a long one. Yeah. Where were you working at the time? All right, so did it work with you?
Yeah, I got paid for it.
Okay. Yeah, positive or negative experience?
It's the drag on.
Yeah. Who else? Back or on you?
Up in Riverview, Woodhaven, downtown.
All right, so 3 jurors,
3 times 5.
and you got seated all 3 times? Or you just got the list too?
Two of the three.
But you got to see it twice. Okay. Positive, negative. Overall. Available? Okay. Anybody else, sir? All right. Now, how many of you, when you got the notice to get a beer today, thought?
No longer
Be honest.
this week.
Be honest. Okay. Have you ever served? Have you ever served? Right? My experience, like I said, I've been doing this a long time. My experience is most people are like, oh, I don't want to go because they've never done it. And I understand that because we're asking you to come in and work with a bunch of strangers to do a job you've never been trained to do. Okay? And let's face it, you don't make any money on it unless your employer pays you and you're lucky. I don't even know what we'll pay you now. I think if you're here, you get like $30 a mile or something. See. And every year in the legislature, somebody says, hey, we should pay jurors more money. And so it's, that's a great idea. Where will it come from? Never. First of all, I appreciate you being here today. And I'll tell you what happened. This guy decided he wanted to put himself, and he's done it before, in this building, unsuccessfully. He was charged with robot license suspended, registration to plate violation, the third one, was it no insurance?
Improper plate.
Improper plate? Okay. I forgot to ask Caitlin. Ask Caitlin to talk to me before she leaves, because I want to ask her. So we filed a motion 3 months ago, probably. And I thought we argued this out that day, but this morning he talked about he wanted to bring in court rules to the jury. I'm like, well, what court rule do you want to talk about? He said 2.15. Well, 2.15 is civil process. It's how Visa sues you if you're not paying credit card bill. It's the process they have to go through to get this case started. I'm like, well, that's not what we're here for. This is a criminal case. This isn't a criminal case. Well, I assure you, it's a 93-day misdemeanor. That makes it crime. Did we not argue 2.105 last time he was here?
He did not. You're right.
So anyhow, my memory, I was getting converted. So I'm explaining to him, like, no, I'm not gonna let you talk to the jury about 2.105. It doesn't have anything to do with today. See, his argument is the reason he was suspended when Huron Township gave a ticket is because he had something going on in Monroe County. Monroe County District Court screwed something up, sent that information to the Secretary of State, and they showed him as suspended. And I told him months ago, that may be true, but Secretary of State had taken your driving privileges away from you for whatever reason, and you were driving on the day in Huron, that means you're guilty of driving license suspended revocation of act. Go ahead and set that aside, okay? Get it clear from Secretary of State, so Secretary of State sends us something that says that was an improper suspension, and then Madam Prosecutor's got something she can work with, right? But today, for some reason, he heard me, yes, because he said, well, then I need a continuance. I'm like, no way in hell are we going to adjourn this. I got people out here waiting to get jury trial. You would have done it. You know, we've had months to file motions. So I said, your eyes we're going forward. Well, I'm going to is that what your choice? Or you can go talk to the prosecutor. So she gave the team, so I'll take it. So that's why I'm not putting any of them seeking. So if you need a letter to show you were actually here today, are we going to the kiosk or downstairs?
Yeah, well, that's downstairs.
Downstairs.
I'll meet him down.
Security station, just ask Joe for your letter, he'll put your name on it, then you can show a suspicious spouse or whatever, we're happy to hear you. Good news is, if you get a jury notice between now and 12 months from now, you just say, I was here, 34th District Court, because you did your. You are not getting a continuance today. If you want to take 2 or 3 minutes and talk to the prosecutor about seeing if there's any offer, that's fine. Otherwise, we're going to a jury trial without an attorney, because that was your choice, with all 3 charges.
We're deciding to prosecute those.
I'm sorry, was that a yes to discussion?
Yes.
Okay, all right, take a few minutes, not a lot, because as soon as I've got enough jurors, I want to get them started if we're going to work them.
Thank you.
I'm almost positive we had that same 2.105 discussion last time.
I don't know because he's
Caitlin.
understanding now, because he didn't,
Caitlin will remember, but I'm almost positive we had that same conversation.
you would have told him it was a civil matter and he would have had the same discussion about it not being a criminal.
Unless he didn't hear me then. I'm almost positive we did.
Mm-hmm.
At least he's fairly polite.
Yeah. And he's not angry and just, yeah. No, I didn't talk to him last night. I mean, we should pay the interest like each other. Lisa, I used to go,
Caitlin told me today, she's offered a long time ago, plead to the deal, but also I'll let the objector. Obviously, he's not worried about his life.
Oh, is he?
But he's not taking out his case, and you're explaining to him the difference.
It's positive. I guess.
These are cases.
Yes, he's done.
Yeah,
I was just thinking that.
which case he was, ages, she's not fine.
Here, I don't have any other, like you mentioned.
I think he brought on.
So,
Asked.
afternoon, maybe.
I think the flight's at 4. I can find a ride. Cheyenne's family was going to talk today.
I mean, they give them.
Oh, I might use that as a backup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here till 3.
I'm gonna see if one of my nieces or nephews, you know, right down Hand Road continues.
Yeah.
Usually I rely on Ray, but he's still pumping around with his new knee. He's doing well. Let's pick somebody up. 1 o'clock. Okay. Seems like that's long enough.
Because he's probably going over court rules with Caitlin.
Yeah, she won't shut him down. Oh, I dialed downstairs. I'll call the kiosk. Any idea how many jurors we got up there? Thanks.
Like I'm going.
I love Johnny Travels.
We'll have enough today.
What was the about?
Well, it really depends on the attorneys and how many challenges they use. I got to end up with 7 in the seats. I don't think the prosecutor will do much for challenges today. I don't know about Mr. Blade.
I just did jury, there was a trial downtown, that's nice, that's neat, still down there.
Not if you're one of the users. Hello, 14?
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, thanks. Leave him out there for a minute.
Walk down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree.
Remind me, come on up, have a seat, yeah. Remind me, I'll give you some feedback from the users down there. Yeah, it's new, I'll say that. Yeah. Ms. Caitlin Foley, did you have conversation